Welcome to the next in the series of the Nadex Touch Brackets educational modules. In this module, we're going to take a look at the risk and reward profile of touch brackets. Now, we've covered a lot of ground so far. We've talked about benefits, we've talked about structure, we've talked about how contracts can expire. And you may seem a little bit overwhelmed at this point, but just hang in there. Over the next few modules, we're really going to tie it all together and really look at, from a trading perspective, how these contracts really work and the items that are going to be most important with you. So let's start with this one and look at the risk-reward profile of the Nadex touch brackets. One of the great benefits of all Nadex contracts, including touch brackets, is the knowledge before the trade is placed of what the maximum risk and maximum potential reward of that trade will be. The floor-to-ceiling boundaries provide traders the ability to control their risk with pinpoint accuracy and also act as natural profit targets. The very structure provides a natural risk and reward plan for every trade and is easy to calculate. In fact, it's so easy, it is on every order ticket before you place the trade. It really can't get much easier than that to understand, but we really want you to have a good feeling for how the risk reward works and why you'd see on the order ticket what you'd see. Let's take a look at the risk side first. On the risk side, the buyer's maximum risk is the difference between the buy price and the floor. The seller's maximum risk is the difference between the sell price and the ceiling. So again, buyer's maximum risk is the buy price to the floor. Seller's maximum risk is the difference between the sell price and the ceiling. Just as easy it is to buy, it is to sell, and vice versa. Now, this is extremely important. Unlike margin markets such as futures and forex, where stop orders can be slipped, if you're not familiar with the term slipped or slippage, it simply means to not have your order filled at the desired level, but at a worse price, sometimes much worse in the case of a big market move. With a touch bracket, the floor and ceiling act as a contractual stop. You are guaranteed to never lose more than what you risked on that trade. It doesn't matter if there's geopolitical events, financial crisis. Once that trade is locked in, your maximum risk is defined, and it can never be more than that. It's very important from a trading perspective. On the reward side, the buyer's potential reward is the difference between the buy price and the ceiling. The seller's potential reward is the difference between the sell price and the floor. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. We're going to go back to the US 500 that we used in the previous module. The opening level is 27.20. So let's cover buying a contract first. In the case of buying a contract, buyers will typically, but not in all cases, choose a floor closest to the underlying market. This is to manage risk and create the most upside potential. In this case, bracket 1 would best fit this criteria. So let's take a closer look at using bracket 1 as an example. One thing before we do that, I do want to point out, while I did say typically buyers will choose a floor closest to the underlying market, we always have to follow our trading plan. And in some cases, that floor may be too close to the underlying market that we might want to choose a bracket that takes a little bit more risk but gives the market a little more room to breathe. So again, each trade is unique. Always follow your trading plan. Now let's take a closer look at bracket number 1. And to give us a better idea, let's take the structure of this bracket. We have a start to the contract, and we have the ultimate expiration date. If this were to expire by time, it would typically be on a Friday afternoon, barring a holiday. So let's take a look at the floor, right? All of these contracts have a floor. In this case, the floor is 27.10 of bracket 1 and a ceiling at 27.60. This is a 50-point contract and the total value is $500. If we're a buyer at 27.20, the maximum risk on this trade is again the difference between our buy price and the floor of the contract, noted by the red shaded arrow. The maximum potential return is the green shaded area. So we have a total of a 50-point contract. The difference between the buy price at $27.20 and the floor of $27.10 is 10 points. In this case, that's $100. Our maximum potential return is 40 points, or $400. Of course, these are maximum levels. You don't have to hold a contract until it's either touched or expires at the end of the week. If, say, for example, you buy and the market starts to move against you, you don't have to sit there and see if it'll hit the floor. You can try to close out to take a smaller loss. Or perhaps the market's moving in your favor, climbs higher. However, after a generous move, you decide maybe it's run its course. Don't have to wait for it to hit the ceiling or expire. In that case, you could close out early to lock in profits. It can't be stressed enough how important it is for a trader to not just have good risk management or control of fear, but also good profit-taking practices to control greed. In this example, the ceiling acts as that control over greed. Now let's take another look at an example. In this case, we'll take a look at selling the contract. As we saw in the previous example, we have multiple brackets to choose from, so we have various options we can take a look at. At the beginning of the week, maybe we thought the market would drop rather than climb. Through this structure, we can find a contract to sell with great management characteristics. As a matter of fact, we can typically find one that's just as easy to sell with good risk management as one to buy. So let's take a look at this. We have our box, which represents our full week-long touch bracket. If we're selling at $27.20 at the beginning of the week, for a seller, our maximum risk is the difference between our sell price and the ceiling. In this case, it's 10 points. On the US 500, 10 points represents $100. Our total potential return, represented by the green area, is 40 points, or $400. Our profit potential is where we sell to the floor. In this case, it would be $27.20 to $26.80, which is 40 points. Again, these are the maximum level. Within these boundaries, there's plenty of flexibility to manage your trades. So what we've learned in this module, a main benefit to touch brackets is the knowledge of maximum risk and potential return before the trade is placed. The structure creates a natural plan for every trade for both risk management and profit taking. We've learned that the buyer's maximum risk is the difference between the buy price and the floor, where their potential return is the difference between the buy price and the ceiling. We've learned that the seller's maximum risk is the difference between the sell price and the ceiling, and the potential return is the difference between the sell price and the floor. At this point, please move on to the next video to learn about the capital requirements and how they fit in with the risk-reward profile of a touch bracket. Of course, as always, if you need assistance, don't hesitate to contact us. We're here and we love to help. You can contact us via email or telephone. Thank you again.